What's going on, guys? It's Tap here. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Game 3 and Game 4 of the Kings-Warriors series. The Kings lost both games. We don't have Skip right now. Skip's not feeling well, so go ahead and send him some love. But something I forgot to mention here is that we actually have Curtis, a.k.a. Skip, a.k.a. Skip and Tosh, on the back end of this pod. After I'm done, he did send in a little audio clip of his thoughts of Game 3 and Game 4. Make sure you check that out at the end. When I'm done, Curtis gives his thoughts. If you don't care about my thoughts, just skip to the last 3 minutes of this video and then click off, I guess, if you really hate my guts that much. Back to the show. We're just going to do this one solo today, and we're just going to kind of give an overview of just how the two games went, maybe go into the box scores a little bit, and talk about it. And then we're going to kind of just move into, my points for what I think the Kings need to do to win this next game, Game 5. So if you guys enjoy the podcast, make sure you go ahead and slap a like. It really helps us grow if you like it, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into it. So let's talk about Game 3, guys. Game 3 was pretty whack. The Kings never quite got it going. The disappearance of Kevin Huerter continued, and also continued on to Game 4, which we'll get to in a little bit. But the Kevin Huerter performance was awful. Keegan Murray looked scared again, and the Kings just never quite were in it. It was kind of like a ticky-tack game, like a lot of foul calls, a lot of Jordan Poole flailing around, which is par for the course. After the whole Draymond Sabonis debacle, I kind of figured Game 3 would be pretty heavily officiated, which it was. And overall, the Kings just pretty much didn't do anything to impress anybody Game 3. Now, let's get into the box score here. Let's check out the stats and see what the team did and what I think they need to do going forward to actually catch a W. You know what I mean? It's been like a week since we caught a dub. What's going on? So Game 3 box score here, we have Sabonis scored 15 points, 7 of 14 shooting, 0 of 1 from 3, only 2 free throws. You got to think somebody that's scoring 15 points, mostly on 2-pointers, and someone that has 16 rebounds, you got to think that they're more down in the paint, getting dirty, bumping. You got to think that he'd be getting more free throws than that. That is, to me, ridiculous. Now, I know Sabonis ain't DeMarcus. He didn't have all these moves where he's like trying to get free throws, but you would think he'd gotten fouled more than once. I mean, that's insane to think that he's only got shot. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the stats here. We got Domantas Sabonis with 15 points, 16 rebounds, only 2 free throws. You would think somebody that is down in the paint, bouncing around off bodies and getting hit for 16 rebounds and 15 points would get fouled more than once. Only 2 free throws. It's kind of crazy to me. Harrison Barnes, 17 points, 6 of 10 shooting, 3 of 7 from 3. A decent game from Harrison Barnes, more like what we would need from him. Keegan Murray, 2 of 7, 1 of 5 from 3, 6 points. He didn't play very well in Game 3. De'Aaron Fox now have 22 shooting, 26 points. A good game from Fox, but we probably need a little bit more. Probably need him to shoot a little more free throws. But you can't really put this one on Fox when you got guys like Kevin Huerter. I mean, 6 of 12 shooting, 50%, that's a good percentage, but 1 of 6 from 3. We need him to make his threes. He's not. And that's a real issue for us in this series. Trey Lyles, 0 of 6 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. Yet again, somebody else not making their shots in the game. We're not going to talk about Chemezi or Kessler Edwards. He didn't really play a lot. Alex Len got 8 minutes, only 2 points, 3 rebounds, a block. Alex Len is somebody who got a little bit more minutes in Game 4, and I think they should be giving him more minutes, to be honest. We'll get into that in the Game 4 coverage. Terrence Davis made a 3. That was nice. It's nice that Terrence Davis can come off the bench completely cold and actually make something. Malik Monk, 1 of 9, 0 of 4. Terrible game from Malik Monk. Overall, the team just didn't show up. The team pretty much got steamrolled. There's not a whole lot to talk about with Game 3. The team got steamrolled. It is what it is. And I think we're probably honestly better off just moving straight up into Game 4, because when you got a team where, you got Keegan Murray shooting 1 of 5 from 3, Kevin Huerter shooting 1 of 6, and Malik Monk shooting 0 of 4, Trey Lyles shooting 0 of 4, Davion Mitchell 1 of 5, Terrence Davis 1 of 4, all from 3, you're not going to win that game. It's just way too many threes you're jacking up and not making them. So that's pretty much just a certified L right there. It's just, you're going to lose. And then The Warriors didn't have Draymond Green. They started Jordan Poole at the basically small forward spot and put Wiggins at power forward and Looney at center. And I mean the offense was humming pretty well this game 3. Poole was only 1 of 7. Poole didn't shoot that well, but apparently they liked what they saw so much in the offense for the Warriors that in game 4 they started Draymond off the bench, which is interesting. That Draymond, I guess that was that oxymoron, started him off the bench. He didn't come off. He didn't start. He came off the bench, is what I should say. And so Draymond came off the bench game 4, and you got to wonder is this what the Warriors are going to look like going forward? Is Jordan Poole going to continue to start, and is Draymond going to continue to come off the bench? It's interesting. Looking at the stats, Curry obviously had a great game. Clay didn't have a very efficient game, neither did Jordan Poole. Looking at the stats, none of the Warriors had a very good game, really, besides Steph, for the Warriors to have destroyed the Kings. It just shows you how much the Kings didn't show up to game 3. You know what I mean? So let's just fast forward straight into game 4. Game 4 was a very exciting game. We finally got the breakout performance from Keegan Murray here. 9 of 13 shooting, 5 of 7 from 3, 23 points. It's what we need from Keegan Murray going forward. You can't expect him to always score 23, but we're going to need a minimum of 15 from Keegan, I think. I mean, Keegan's got to score. Keegan needs to be aggressive. He was finally aggressive this game, and look what it got us. Sabonis, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 7 of 13 shooting. Honestly, it's just not enough for me. Game 3 or game 4, you can't have Sabonis scoring 15 points a game and expecting us to win. It's not going to happen. Sabonis needs to be 20 points minimum, is what I'll say. 20 points minimum from Sabonis is what we need every game. And no free throws from Sabonis. A big man down low, banging in the post, not getting fouled at all, no free throws. Something's got to change there. Sabonis needs to attempt to draw fouls, or maybe the refs just aren't calling it, which is something that I've noticed. Even my dad texted me and was like, it must be hard for these guys. Every time we touch somebody, it's a foul in the regular season, and then the playoffs, you got to draw blood for a foul. And which is true. Like, I personally wish every game was called like a playoff game. Like, let these guys play. But also do it in the regular season. Weed out the weak asses like Ben Simmons. If they called, and like, playoff basketball today is weak compared to what it used to be as far as the physicality. If they called every game like they do a playoff game in the regular season, Ben Simmons would be working at McDonald's. Ben Simmons couldn't handle it. 14 points though for Sabonis. Harrison Barnes, another bad game. 3 of 11 shooting, 1 of 6 from 3, 9 points. Just Barnes, he's somebody that you always want in your team, especially if you're a playoff team. He's a veteran. He knows where to be, what to do. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He has all the intangibles, but his shooting has just been horrendous this series, and it's something that you hope the Kings can win in spite of, and that he can, going forward, improve on, and maybe he's just having a bad series. Maybe, hypothetically, if the Kings make it to round 2, Barnes shoots lights out. You don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. But I'll tell you what, his shooting performances right now, they ain't it. 23 points from Keegan Murray, 9 of 13 shooting, 5 of 7 from 3. Mix in 7 rebounds in there and an assist. I mean, Keegan Murray, he's finally had his breakout performance, which we desperately needed. De'Aaron Fox, 14 of 31 shooting, 4 of 11 from 3, so another inefficient game shooting the three-pointer by a King, which seems to be a trend. 38 points, though, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. De'Aaron Fox, I mean, what is there to say about him that hasn't already been said? De'Aaron Fox is a stud. He's clutch player of the year. He actually played the end of this game with a broken finger, which we'll get into in a minute. But De'Aaron Fox is a stud. There's no complaints there from Fox. Kevin Huerter, the disappearance of Kevin Huerter. We need to officially put this man on the back of a milk carton. 1 of 4 shooting, 0 of 1 from 3. He played 20 minutes, which is the least amount of any starter. For comparison's sake, Davion and Malik Monk both played 8 more minutes than Huerter coming off the bench. So it's not a good look for Kevin Huerter. There's a good chance Kevin Huerter maybe doesn't even start tonight. I don't know. The Kings, as of recording this, the Kings play tonight. It's April 26th, Game 5. And I don't know if Huerter starts. Honestly, Huerter's looked horrible. I would probably look into starting Davion or Monk. The only problem is I don't know that like Huerter would bring the same intensity off the bench that Malik Monk does. And I kind of think that second unit needs the intensity of Malik Monk. So I don't know if potentially they start Davion and Malik Monk stays off the bench with Huerter. I think Davion is a little more safe of a ball handler than Malik Monk or Huerter. So if you're talking about like who would come in and play backup point if Donovan Mitchell start or Davion Mitchell starting, I guess Malik Monk, but like he can be turnover prone. He gets a little crazy sometimes. So I don't know how they would work that. That's why I actually think Huerter probably will stay the starter. Although I wouldn't be surprised if they benched him. Trey Lyles, 2 of 5 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3, 5 points. Kessler Edwards barely got any playing time. Alex Len played 11 minutes, 6 points. If you look at the plus minus numbers, there's only 4 Kings that have a plus when they were on the floor, and that's Kevin Huerter, which is funny because he didn't really accomplish anything in this game, so that kind of gives you an idea of how irrelevant plus minus is. But what I was going to say was Alex Len had a plus 11, and I honestly felt like when Alex Len was out there, the Kings played better because you got these guys like Steph and Jordan Poole that just drive to the basket all day on Sabonis. And in the third quarter of this game, it was really competitive first half, and then it was like a game of runs. Like the Kings are going a 7-0 run, the Warriors are going an 8-0 run, the Kings are going an 8-0 run, the Warriors are going a 6-0 run. So it was just a bunch of runs. But where the problem arose was the fact that the third quarter, the Kings came out and they were just flat as hell. They had no drive, no get up and go, nothing. The third quarter they were flat. Fourth quarter they came back and it was a close game, obviously 1-point game. And if you look at the scoring of all 4 quarters, the only quarter where the Warriors scored more than the Kings was the third quarter. So that third quarter was the deciding factor. You can't come out flat and expect to win. It's just not going to happen. But with that being said, with Alex Len in there, it seemed like Steph and Jordan Poole weren't so keen to be driving the basket. And on top of that, Alex Len got a number of rebounds, like 6 rebounds, 5 points in 11 minutes. Or I said that wrong. Am I dyslexic? 6 points, 5 rebounds in 11 minutes. But like you can obviously tell when Alex Len's out there, the Warriors don't have anybody that big. He gets like almost every rebound that's in his vicinity. I honestly wouldn't mind if Alex Len played like 15 minutes this next game. Like just tack another 4 on there. He went from 8 minutes to game 3, 11 minutes to game 4. Let's give him 15 minutes in game 5. Honestly, I think the players on the Warriors aren't scared to drive if Sabonis is at the basket. I think they're a little scared when Alex Len's there. So honestly, I'd keep it that way. Have Alex Len play more minutes. Donovan Mitchell, 5 of 8 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3, 12 points. And Malik Monk, 5 of 14 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3, 16 points. Malik Monk played well, although he did get a little sloppy. A lot of driving to the basket and complaining, not getting foul calls from the refs, which you're not going to get the foul calls. You're not, you're not Steph. But Davion played really good defense on Steph for the most part. As good a defense as you could play on him. He's always there bothering him. It seems like Steph always has to hand the ball off like 2 or 3 times before he gets his shot off. Unless it's a shot in transition, which the Kings gave up a lot of transition shots to Steph and the Warriors in general. But it seems to me that Steph is always working his ass off for his shots in this series, more so than normal. And I think that just goes to show that Davion has been really hounding him and bothering him. Take a look at the Warriors box score. Not going to get too crazy into this, but Jordan Poole had a better game this game than game 3, excuse me. Klay Thompson, 9 of 15 shooting, very efficient game from him. Steph Curry, a very efficient game from him, shooting 11 of 22. And Wiggins was making his shots, 7 of 12 shooting, only 1 of 2 from 3, but Wiggins played well. Draymond Green off the bench, 3 of 14 shooting, 0 of 2 from 3. 12 points. I mean, he had more shot attempts than points. That's not very good if you're Draymond Green. And He had 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I think Draymond sucks. I'm not a Draymond guy. Never have been, never will be. He didn't do it. He doesn't do it for me, just straight up. And that's not just because the Kings are playing him in the series. I've never liked Draymond. I've always thought he was an overrated hack, personally. Dante DiVincenzo, 1 of 3. Gary Payton, 1 of 3. Basically, look at the bench production from the Warriors here. Let's see, 3 of 14. Let's go 1, 2, 3. So that's 6 shots, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21. The Warriors bench shot a combined 6 of 21 from the field. Pretty bad, pretty horrendous. Basically, this Warriors team is super top heavy. You got Steph, Clay, Jordan Poole, that's it. Wiggins, that's it. It's straight up, that's all you got. The Warriors team is not really built to go far in the playoffs, I don't think. Even if they beat the Kings, looking at this squad, they got nothing. I mean, Gary Payton barely played, Kuminga barely played. DiVincenzo played 16 minutes, doesn't really do a lot for the team. This team is pretty weak, honestly. No depth for the Warriors, but they still got the job done against the Kings. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about that last play where there was how much time left? Like 9 seconds. And essentially they gave the ball to De'Aaron Fox, down 1. And the play was for Fox to just create a shot, essentially, is all it was. Now, at the time, I had thought that it was pretty weak of a play call. I wanted them to run something for somebody. Essentially what happened was, in the post-game press conference, Mike Brown had said that they basically wanted to give the ball to Fox and just live with whatever shot he got because they were riding him. And honestly, as much as I love Fox, and this isn't to hate on Fox, I think they rely way too much on De'Aaron Fox. This is like more about the rest of the team, to be honest with you. Fox had the ball every possession. He shot every shot at the end of the game, which is fine. Kobe or Jordan would want to do the same thing. But the issue is that it gets to a point where, first of all, Fox is going to be worn out if they even beat the Warriors and go on to another series. Fox is going to be worn out, for one. And 2, it becomes predictable for the defense. Now, Fox had the ball. He was dribbling it around. He got double teamed, passed it to Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes bricked the 3. That was the game. It amazes me with guys like Malik Monk and Herter, and Keegan Murray was feeling it. And then you have big bodies like Sabonis, or even bigger Alex Len. You can't run some sort of screen play where you have some sort of floppy or some sort of screen where guys are coming off screens and getting an open shot. With 9 seconds left, you have plenty of time to run a play. I don't think one-on-one ISO Fox is the move there when you should know he's probably going to get doubled. And then maybe perhaps if Fox has been that good that you double him and you just live with whatever shot anybody else takes. That's how good Fox is, that even if Kevin Huerter gets the shot, you let him have it, even though he wasn't in there at the end, I don't think. But is Fox gotten that good that you live with Harrison Barnes taking a 3? I mean, if that's the case, then I guess it's almost kind of a compliment. But my point is that I don't think we can continue to rely on one guy long term, which is why we need Sabonis. And that's the overall, to wrap it up, Sabonis has got to put more points on the board. He has to. 14 points, 15 points. That ain't enough. It's not like he's having these games he's having in the regular season where he was averaging 15 assists either. 14 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. That's damn near triple single numbers. That's what I make fun of Draymond Green for doing. And so I like the roster. I love Sabonis. I don't think that the Sabonis for Halliburton trade was bad. I've been very vocal about the fact that I think it was a great trade. But the Kings either need to get a big man to play next to Sabonis to handle the defensive duties and have Sabonis play power forward, or they need to basically have Sabonis start trying to draw fouls like Joel Embiid, because at this point 14 points isn't going to cut it. And it's hard to take Sabonis off the floor and play Alex Len, because you're basically playing almost 4-on-5 on offense, because Alex Len is not Sabonis. But at the same time, you want to keep Sabonis out there for the offense, but you need the defensive capabilities and the bigger stature of an Alex Len. So it's almost like you need to play Alex Len next to Sabonis, but the fit would never work. It's just kind of an odd situation the Kings are in, where it's like when you have a player like Domantas Sabonis, do you just live with the fact that you're never going to be good defensively and just keep the offense humming? But then when Sabonis only drops 14 points, it's kind of like you're getting neither. So I don't really know what the Kings can do to change what I don't know. You know what I mean? It's quite the predicament. And it's something that's obviously going to have to be worked out in the offseason. But like, I love Monk, I love Mitchell. Like, I like the roster. Lyles shows up and plays pretty well most of the time. But as currently constituted, this Kings Warriors series, it's tied. It could go either way. The Kings got home court advantage, which is wonderful. It's going to be great to watch the Kings. Hopefully, if all goes well, it'll probably go 7 games if the Kings win tonight. I would assume they would lose in Oakland and go back to Game 7 in Sacramento. It would be beautiful to see the Kings win a Game 7 in Sacramento in front of the home court. I mean, it would be... the roof would fly off the building. It would be absolutely insane. So let's hope that, the Kings can pull this one out. I will say, I believe in Game 4... I think it was Alex Len knocked Jordan Poole on his ass. That was like one of my favorite moments of the game. When Jordan Poole is doing all this cocky shit and dancing around, acting like an idiot, why don't they just send Richaun Holmes in there to knock him on his ass? Even if Richaun Holmes gets ejected, who cares? He's not playing anyways. Just use Richaun as an enforcer. Now, not every player wants to be an enforcer, but at this point, I don't know. Play like it's the 90s. We're about to have Knicks and Heat potentially here in the Eastern Conference. That's a total 90s matchup if I've ever heard one. Let's go ahead and knock some guys on their asses. Let's get some elbows. Let's see some stitches, some blood. I'm ready for a Royal Rumble in this series. But really, though, we're looking at 3 more games. Kings got 2 games at home. I'm really excited. Game is tonight. It's going to be intense. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Comment down below and let me know your guys' prediction on the score at the end of this game tonight, Game 5. I want to see how you guys think it's going to go. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Before we finish, though, we got an audio clip from Skip. He wants to send in his thoughts, and he wasn't feeling well, like I said, but he could at least just hold a phone and record it and send it. So we're going to play that at the end here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, do all that nonsense. I'm not going to badger you about it. If you want to follow my personal channel, it is at Tap Plays Games. I just pretty much do game reviews and little, like Let's Plays and stuff. A lot of stuff I do is like classic wrestling games. But if you want to follow me, all the links are in the description, Twitter, everything. Hey, let's get into this Skip clip of him talking about the Kings. And that's going to end the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one. See ya. God, you look good today.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Skip, aka Skip and Tosh here, reporting from an undisclosed location. Game 3, flat out, Kings just didn't come and play our game. I think we got a little psyched out with the lineup changes and such. And Warriors had the juice. They came out, they handled business. We didn't lay down form and roll over. They had to beat us. We came back and we were, tightening up on the leads and stuff that they had gotten on us, but between them out-rebounding us, just moving the ball a little bit better, and the heroics of Steph Curry, they were able to handedly take that game from us. And it was their first home game. They're known for protecting home court, so it wasn't a surprise to me. The only thing that really bothered me about that game, and it's still understandable, it's just that in the third quarter, Kings started to panic a little bit, like late third quarter, and you could tell that we were checking up shots, our ball movement stopped, and we were all just kind of trying to hit that big shot to get us in the game instead of looking for the best shot by moving the ball around. So that was the only disturbing thing, and truth be told, by the time we were about halfway through the fourth quarter, that had stopped a little bit more. So Mike Brown did get into the head of the guys and let them know, hey, settle down. It's one thing to want to win. It's another thing to start panicking and get away from our game plan. So that was game 3 in a nutshell. Game 4, much better effort. Kings came out, punched in the mouth early. You could see that our defense was more active. Unfortunately, though we didn't turn the ball over a lot, it was towards the end of the game when we started turning it over in the 4th. That really hurt us. Even then, keep in mind, we only lost the game by 1 point. And there were enough missed free throws and missed open shots that could have accounted for that. But it's great playoff experience for the guys. Game 4 had 10.4 million viewers. It was the most watched playoff game since 2004, I believe, which just goes to show you how exciting the brand of basketball is that the Kings play, and especially matching it up against the defending champ, the Warriors. Let's give them their credit for the attention that they have, the dynasty that they built, and the fanfare that they have around the U.S. and the world. You put those two components together, and it's explosive and highly combustible and great basketball to watch. So all in all, I'm so happy with where the Kings are. It's tied up 2-2. It is now a best-of-3 series, and we are back in Sacramento to play, expecting all the Sacramento Kings fans to show up and show out, and let's help our team will ourselves to our 3rd victory of this playoff series. Go Kings, light the beam. Back to you, Tap.